Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, doing a back-to-back episode. So if you left any comments, I won't get them yet. I'll answer them, but I won't be talking about them in this episode. So I'm bringing you another episode of Obsidian from the ground up, I think is what I was thinking of calling it. So in our last episode, we installed Obsidian and we went over the interface and all the different options. I didn't mention down here, this shows you, a summary of your page, 41 words, 265 characters, and 0 backlinks. In this episode, we're actually going to start working on our actual Markdown cheat sheet. One thing I wanted to show you is, as you can see here, we created this outside of Obsidian and we're editing it inside Obsidian. But as we're doing our cheat sheet, I wanted to open up in Notepad++ and show you kind of the progress of what this cheat sheet actually is looking like. And as you can see right now, it's just plain text. Its name is Markdown cheat sheet, and of course we just have all this weird text in it. All right, so let's get into settings, and let me pull up my settings on this guy so I can make them match. So I'm not going to go into every single little setting. It does a pretty good job of telling you what they do. I'm just going to set up the settings that I like, and of course you can do it however you want. So click on the little cog at the bottom, and you'll be greeted with this. Now, if you've been playing with it and added other community plugins and such, it might be a lot longer list, but as a default, it will look basically just like this. Actually, there was one thing I wanted to do before we do this. I wanted to prep. So we did create the ZZ admin before, but anytime you add, like, you can drag and drop a picture into your sheet, and it will actually, copy that image and create that file somewhere, an image file. If you want, you can actually set it up so it goes to a specific place. And inside my ZZ admin, I like creating a folder called attachments. So attachments. The other one I like in here is templates. Like that. TEMPLATES. So we can do this inside our settings, but you can also set up your attachments as the default location by right clicking and saying set attachment folder. We're not going to do that so you can actually see where it's done, but I almost forgot I needed to do those two folders because we configured them in here. All right, so always focus on new tab. I actually have set off because I don't always want to go to the new tab that I created or a new sheet that I create, and that'll make more sense as we go, but I do like that. Remember before I said that whenever you create a new sheet, there's two modes for them. One is editing view and one is the reading view or the preview, the live preview. I like mine to be in editing view, or no, actually I have mine set to reading view, and then I just switch it to editing view to actually edit it. However, my default editing mode, I do not like the live preview. And I can show you that really quick by showing you a couple Markdown. So if I do a hashtag, or not hashtag, a star, sorry, and then type something, this is bold. There you go. You learned your first bit of Markdown. You'll see that when I character turn off of it, it goes into preview mode to show me what it would look like. And then if I want to, let's say I wanted to change it to underline, which is just a single star, I have to click on it once and, or not underline, italics. I have to click on it once to pull up my little, my coding, and then I can add what I want after that. I like when I'm in edit mode that it's always showing me my edit stuff. And so that's what this first setting right here is. Do you want it to be live preview or source mode? And I do like source mode because now, see, if I get off of it, I still have that. And if I want to change it, I just click up there and I change it. Oh, I don't want to delete that yet. Okay. So that's the source mode and live preview. The next one I leave. This is the one I was talking about where it might look a little funny on your screen, the readable line length. So if I have a really giant monitor, it will basically center it in this, and we'll just have a giant amount of space on either side that is just wasted space. I don't like that. And so you can change that by changing the readable line length. If we go ahead and turn that off, you'll now see that it's taking up as much space as it can. And if I expand this, it's just doing some word wrapping for us. Whoops, that was the wrong one. So that's how I like to have it, so that, you know, I can see the markdown that I've been typing, and also it's utilizing space more wisely. Let's see, there's line breaks, formatter. I don't think. Let me just double check, see what other things I have those. I don't think I really do anything else in this. Like I said, you can go through it and look at it and change what you want. I'm just showing you my settings. I do not like using tabs, so I usually set that to space and then set that down to 2 because I don't like 4 spaces. Programming in Java, C, and all that stuff, I usually set it to 2. That's what I'm used to. One of my pet peeves of Python is having to do 4. All right, let's go to files and links. So I leave confirm deletion on because I like to turn off the move to system trash. When I delete something, I want it permanently deleted. Therefore, I want it to ask me, in case I hit delete on accident, if I wanted that deleted. If you want to be safe, you can have it go to your recycle bin and then, just say system trash, and then you can delete it later. I don't like that extra step. Automatically update internal links. That's a good one, and it's going to be kind of hard to explain at the moment, but when we get into backlinks and forward or outgoing links, that will make more sense, and you can change it to whatever you want. Once again, with WikiLinks, we have that. Nothing special there. This is where I do something. This is where I do make a change. And I say the vault folder. This is where we could have right-clicked on our attachments and said choose this to be the new one. So I'm going to say in the folder specified below. And then here we're going to say the ZZ admin attachments, which is basically doing the same thing. The other thing I like to do is hiding from the search is everything in that admin. So when I'm looking at, my relationship tree and stuff, I don't want things to be also listed from my admin folder. So I set that and hit save. So now ZZ admin and its contents will not be included when we look at our graph. So that's that. Under appearance, this is all optional stuff. We'll talk about themes later on. We're not going to do that right now. But, if you don't like the purple that highlights everything, I like a nice bright magenta. I could do, 2550. Can I move this window? I can't. And then 255. And now you'll see, whoops, I clicked off. You'll see everything is now this magenta color instead of the purple. community themes. I'm not doing any of those yet. That looks all the same. Level native menus. Yeah, that's all I have there. Hotkeys is just all your different hotkeys. We're not going to set any of those. The about, this is kind of handy to know. If you want to check for updates on Obsidian, you can actually click check for updates, and you'll see there were no updates. Automatic updates is defaulted on. This is also where you can change, if you are activating a license as a commercial license, you can activate it. You can also do your login up here, or you can purchase your license, all that. Highly recommend leaving the hardware acceleration on. You will definitely see some stuff, performance hits, if you do not. Core plugins, I think I pretty much leave them all on as is. I don't have the audio recorder. I don't have the format converter, publish, and sync. There's publish. Random node, I don't like it to create one automatically for me. The sync is right there. I leave those. I thought there was one I usually change in here. Tags, no. And then community plugins. So we're going to start off with no community plugins so that I can show you the raw Obsidian. But how we enable plugins, right now it's in restricted mode, and that means that we cannot actually get any plugins. Actually, that wasn't restricted mode. I'm not sure why I wasn't in restricted mode. This is restricted mode. So if you want to be able to download plugins, then you click on this. They're just basically saying that they don't manage or check all the plugins that are being created. Proceed at your own risk. So if you do that, then you can get in, you get out of restricted mode, and you'll be able to browse plugins. You'll have a list of your current plugins, and then of course you can also turn on the debug so you can see your more information as you're starting the program. Then we have all these right here. I pretty much leave, I think I leave everything default, except for the last one, templates. So we get all the way down here to templates. Once again, this is why we created a template folder. We're going to go ahead and say in ZZ admin is our templates. That's where we'll put them. And that's pretty much all I do for my main piece. So we're going to go and close this. So now we've done this, so we don't need this anymore. So we're going to start learning our formatting, our Markdown. And there's actually quite a bit of it, but it's pretty easy. There are going to be parts that mostly one part needs to be in a certain spot. It's called your front matter or your YAML or your metadata. And it actually has to be at the very top of the file. But I don't want to go into that just yet. I want to go into that when we start talking about some of the plugins. So I'm going to create lots of little notes or placeholders for different types of our Markdown. And we'll fill those in before we're done. I'm also going to open this guy because it's coming up where we're going to do some of our first stuff. So we're going to go to the very top, and once again I wanted to show you really quick. If we go into here, you'll see if I refresh it, let it reload, we have a completely empty file now. Alright, so let's go ahead and start learning. So the very first thing we're going to leave a placeholder for is I'm going to put a little up arrow here and say front matter. And in parentheses, kind of describe what front matter is. It is metadata is another word for it. It's also YAML, which I believe is yet another markup language. Or is it Markdown? I think it's markup. HTML is a markup language. What this is using is a markdown language. Don't know what the real difference between those are. But with YAML, I want to kind of specify how I want to do. Let's just do it this way. So YAML basically is a key value type of thing. VAL. So it uses keys and values, and that's what we're going to put just above here, but we won't see it normally. So that will be that. The first thing I actually want to talk about is going to be tags, and we actually have, that's why I loaded our tags over here. So tags are what you can use, and if you've used, you know, various RPG systems, they use them as traits or something like that. So we're going to create some tags here. I'm going to create a little header for us, just called tags, so we know what they are. The way we create a tag in Markdown is we simply use a hashtag and then we type our tag. Now, if I type like tag and then hit space, you'll see now we have one instance of tag. However, once again, because this is our cheat sheet and our admin stuff, I want this tag to kind of be grouped elsewhere, so I don't always see it at the very top. So I'm going to use my same idea. I'm going to do a ZZ and then a slash. And if we go now, you'll see that there's a little tag group, and inside that is our tag. And we're going to call this tag 1. If I want another one, I hit space and I do it again. We'll do ZZ slash tag 2. And now you'll see we have 2 tags in there. And when we have all our tags, these will be at the very bottom out of the way, because I don't want them always showing up with all my other stuff. So there we go. Easy as can be. We just made some tags. I want now to put in another placeholder, and this will be for using a plugin called dataview. So we're going to do a CCESS accessing front matter inline, data inline. And this is going to use a plugin called dataview. Once again, not going to go into this because that's not native. Front matter technically is native, but I think when we get into using dataview, it'll click a little better and make more sense. So the next thing I want to do is comments. You can leave comments in Markdown language like you do when you're programming. In fact, Markdown language actually can also use HTML in it for like some formatting and stuff, which we'll actually get into. So the way you leave a comment is you do 2 % symbols, and for a multi-line comment you would then do carriage return and 2 more % symbols. So I'm going to put a comment here just to show you that you can actually leave them in line. So I'm going to say you can have comment comments, and then we're going to do that. And let's say this is an inline comment, and we'll go ahead and close it by the double % symbols again in the MIDD middle of a line. LINE. And then of course you can also have a multi-line comment. So we'll give that example too. Technically it makes sense that a multi-line comment is the same. So this is a is that 2 words? Yeah, multi-line. I think so. Oh, actually, I'm not making it multi-line at all. Let's go ahead and do this. Multi-line comment. Like that. So if we jump out of our edit mode and go in, you'll see you can't see those comments at all. You can't see tags. But this other stuff, you can't actually see any of it yet because we haven't done anything with it. So there you go. The next thing we're going to do is headings. Now this is where the outlining guy comes in. But headings are similar to tags. However, you have a space instead of running your tag name right up against it. So we can say hashtag, and you'll notice it's really big because it's assuming at first that I'm creating a heading, which is why it also has the little down arrow saying I can collapse a heading. So if I hit space, now it knows this is a heading, and you'll notice it's nice and big. This is heading 1. And there are a total of 6 of them. I bet you can guess how you do the other ones. So we're going to do V, 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 and that's 6. So I'm going to call this one 5, this one 4, this one 3, this one 2. Oh, whoops. Dang it. V, I meant 6. And then this one we'll just get rid of. All right, so the way you do it is the heading number you want is how many of the hashtags you want. So this is 2, Control Z. This is going to be 3. This is going to be 4. This is going to be 5. And this is going to be 6. And each of these headings, for example, in Obsidian, I can actually collapse them. So if I collapse down heading 4, everything under heading 4 will be collapsed. You'll see we get these little dots. If I do heading 1, basically everything in the entire document will be collapsed below heading 1. Now if I end up having another heading 1 down here, second heading, this will not collapse into that one now because we have a second heading that's on that same level. And that's the same with each of these other headings. They won't necessarily collapse a heading that is their own, if that makes sense. So there is our headings. Next, we're going to go over the very basics of our formatting. So we already learned bold, so we're going to do star star, and we'll do bold, B-O-L-D, bold. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell. Bold, and then 2 more stars. Oh, that's no stars. There we go. We have italic, which was a single star. Oops. And we could do I-T-A-L-I-C. Actually, I don't think we want the spaces there. I think it wants it butted up. So there's italic. We also have strike through, which is 2 tildes, and we do S-T-R-I-K-E-T-H-R-O-U-G-H, and then close it with 2 more tildes. And then we have highlight, which is done with 2 equals, and that'll fix in just a second. It's because we only have 2 equals on the whole page. And if we do 2 more equals, that fixed our strike through and stuff. So these are your basics right here. Now, I think I'm going to do escape characters. I'm trying to think. We're already, and this would get you started. I'm going to put escape characters as something we're going to do a little later on, because no, we'll do that. Oh, what are we at? 24? We're going to go through all our escape characters, even though we haven't learned all the different symbols yet and what they do, but we definitely will. So just like in programming, escape characters are done with the backslash and then whatever you're trying to escape. So obviously, if we ever wanted to show a star, we would need to escape it. So if we wanted to like have a star italic, if we wanted it to be more of like a note in a page saying something like and then get rid of that one. Actually, I guess it's escaping it automatically for us. But in some cases, that will not work. And this would actually italicize everything else in the whole page. So if I came down here and said this, actually no, it only goes to the end of the line. But let's say, but this isn't. We want this to not be italicized at all. In this case, you can see it's not, actually it's not italicing any of it. Which is kind of what we want. This is a terrible example. But here in the Markdown, it's actually showing it that way. Maybe if we had, for whatever reason, a star at the end, or maybe we had two of these points, the bullet points saying, note this at the bottom of the page. That'll be a good example, because see how those are? So we can escape it using the backslash. So if we do that and that, now these are just simple stars, and it won't actually do anything with them. So that is our first one. I apologize for my terrible examples. The next one isn't something we've actually learned yet, but we will be. But it is the minus, the little tiny minus key. The next one I have is the greater than symbol, because that's used for other things. We also have the staple, or whatever you want to call it, the bracket. We have, crud, I don't even know what symbol that one is. Oh, I know what it is. It's the backtick. We have the backslash, the backtick, which is the symbol up on the next to the 1, shares the tilde key. So we have the backtick. We have, obviously, we have our hashtags up here. So we have a hashtag. And the final one, what if we want to actually show a backslash? We can escape our backslashes themselves. So as you can see now, we have a representation of all those, where other times, you know, if we were trying to do that, it doesn't show up. It thinks that everything here is indented. All right. I think this will be good for this episode. We've learned quite a bit, and hopefully this will actually even let you hit the ground running and start, you know, in your game, either campaign world design or world creation, or if you're just taking notes for a campaign you're in, this should actually allow you to get started. Oh, actually, there is one more thing I wanted to say. If I use this to create a new note, it always puts it at the bottom of the vault, and this will also always create a folder. If I wanted to create a new folder inside a folder, the easiest way to do it is just right click, and I can choose a new note or a new folder inside. I forgot to mention that, because as you get a more complex vault, you might want things to appear inside the folder. If I'm in here, even though I have Markdown cheat sheet highlighted, if I create a new note, you'll see it's actually outside of the folder. I'm going to go ahead and delete this guy and say delete and say yes. All right, well, that will do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, subscribe, click that little notification bell. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. Tell other people about my channel. Check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel. It's a win-win situation. And yeah, that's it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.